You're listening to Power Talk, Berkeley Electric Cooperative's official broadcast about the cooperative, our communities, and ways to use energy wisely. And now, let's join our hosts for today's episode.
Good morning, Low Country. This is Libby Rohrig, Director of Marketing and Communications for Berkeley Electric. And we have some girl power going on this morning. Our steady co-host, Micah Ponce, is taking a personal wellness morning, apparently. So I'm joined by Peyton Dress, digital media specialist. Welcome.
Good morning.
Morning. And Amy Langdon, Vice President of Member Services.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Amy, you've been on Power Talk before, no stranger to the show, but just give folks who may be tuning in for the first time a quick recap of who you are and what you do here at the co-op.
Yep. So, as Libby said, I'm the Vice President of Member Services. So, pretty much any contact from a member comes through my department: email, phone calls, chat, in person, payments, you name it. So we try to keep everything flowing for everybody.
How many contacts a month do we get?
Oh, Lord. We get anywhere from 10 to 12,000 phone calls a month.
Okay.
Emails, it's somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 emails. Chat, it's under 1,000. And then when you start looking at online applications for service and those kind of things, I mean, that's well into 4,000 or 5,000 a month. So.
Yeah. And then
Payments, bananas, and
private
service
messages
orders
on
and
social. Yeah.
In person, walk-in traffic. So
yeah,
lots of opportunities to communicate.
Yeah. And, you know, the average person may not realize that Berkeley Electric serves portions of the Tri-County. We have 135,000 plus services out in the area.
I think it's like 133.9 something. I had to pull it yesterday. So,
yeah. So
right there.
A lot of people that we serve. Happy to do it.
Growing every day.
Yeah.
So y'all are definitely staying busy over in Member Services.
For sure.
So thanks for taking time to join us this morning, because I know y'all have a lot going on. But hopefully you're not too busy to add to some of your department, and we've seen that this past year. So we know your team started a cross-training initiative behind the scenes. So kind of tell us about that. Why was that needed, and why did you think to start that program?
Yeah, so several reasons. You know, you have new folks come in who've never seen a different side of member services. You would think, most people think that working in a district office is the same no matter which district office you're working in, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Traffic levels are different. The types of work is, different. Some have more growth than others. Some are more maintenance related. So the work itself is different. The demographics of the districts are different. So the people that we're interacting with, that varies drastically from district to district. So really just wanted to give folks the opportunity to see all sides of member services, including the contact center, because that's a completely different beast in its own. So, we kind of started with a mix of folks, some of our newer folks, some of our I don't want to say older folks, our more tenured employees, and just shook it up. Moved some of them to different districts, some of them to the contact center, moved some from the contact center into the districts, and overwhelmingly positive responses from them through that
Not
process.
initially, though.
No, not initially. No.
Change is scary.
Deer in headlights. That was the look I got from everyone when we announced that we were doing that. Because it pushes them out of their comfort zone. It puts them under a different supervisor. They're with an entirely different group of peers.
Yeah.
And change is uncomfortable no matter who you are. So, definitely a lot of apprehension in that first group. The second group that we did last year was a lot more positive going in. But again, it wound up being a really positive thing for our
Yeah.
department, which is why we're going to continue that on this year. So
And you guys learned a lot from that first round to the second
Yeah.
round and made tweaks to
we
make
did
it a better
we
process.
Did. The first round we did was 3 months. A week just isn't long enough for you to get the full experience and for you to completely disconnect from where you were to your new environment. So we kind of picked 3 months as a starting point, and the second group we reduced that to 6 weeks. Not to say that 3 months was just too long, but when you're trying to fit multiple rotations in a year and timing it with holidays and vacations and everything else, it just didn't feel sustainable long term for doing multiple rotations a year. So the 6 weeks worked out really well. It was just long enough to to force them to
Break some habits.
and to build relationships with that new group. Yeah.
So let's dive in a little bit more about the different personalities in the different districts, because, Peyton and I have the luxury of being able to pop from district to district.
Sure.
Our job really demands that, but it's nice to have the flexibility to just plug in our laptops in Ondaw or Goose Creek, or Johns Island. But, Goose Creek's our busiest district.
Yep.
Half of our membership is served out of that district. But tell us more about like the demographics and a little bit how each district's a little bit different.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, Goose Creek is our busiest. It's our largest district. We've got 52 or 53% of all of our accounts that are served from that one Goose Creek district. There's also a high Hispanic population in Goose Creek, which really puts the emphasis on that need for bilingual employees. And again, I mentioned employees who work in other districts, they get some of that, but you can't truly appreciate the need for that until you actually work in Goose Creek, and that language barrier exists.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that of the Hispanic members. Are they in person coming into the office versus calling or emailing?
Yeah, we get very few calls or emails. We get some, but not a lot. Most of that is in person.
Yeah,
they make their payments in person. They're requesting services in person. So. We have definitely more staff in Goose Creek, just volume-wise, and then several bilingual employees to help those members.
Yeah, and Johns Island similarly has a large Hispanic population.
They do, just not to the level that Goose Creek does. So we have bilingual employees there as well. And all of our bilingual employees help with the emails and calls that come in, no matter where they come from. But definitely have to be able to serve those members in person in those two districts.
So Ondaw's our smallest district.
Yep.
But some growth coming to Ondaw.
Sure.
A lot of growth in Johns Island, Monk's Corner as well. So busy.
Very busy. Yeah.
Awesome. So we recently wrapped up a promotion to get our members to convert over to sign up to receive their bills in their email rather than via the traditional post office mail. Why was an incentive to switch to paperless billing important for the co-op?
The biggest frustration in member services is when members have a problem that we can't solve. So members calling us saying they're not getting their bills, or they're getting them after the due date, delayed delivery, whatever, and there's nothing we can do to improve that delivery by the post office. So the biggest thing we can do is try to get them to switch over to email, or at least do both. If you still want a paper bill in the mail, that's fine, but in case it doesn't show up, you still have your email, your bill through email. So that's becoming a growing issue. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone. We all hear about post office delivery issues, and so that has become more prominent over the last year or two, and just we're starting to do a lot more of our notifications through email. Again, because it's more reliable, and we can get those out in a timely way when we need to send something urgent. So And we have the ability to send more notifications through email than we do through the post office. So
yeah. Well, and communications is Peyton and I's bread and butter, and we know of all the channels that we have to reach our membership. Email is the best way to move a needle, to make them aware of the different programs or opportunities available to them. And so, it's great when folks can give us their email, and we definitely try not to abuse that privilege.
Right. We don't send something unless we feel like it's absolutely necessary. We all in this room can sympathize with the mindless emails that we get.
Yeah, the volume.
Delete. Yeah. But, if you get something from us, from Berkeley Electric, it's important. And, it's something we feel like you need to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely. And, with the postal disruptions, we've done what we can on the opposite end with the payment processing. We've brought that in-house instead of it was in Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta,
So that was to save money, first and foremost, but also to improve accuracy because mistakes were happening at the processing center. And also bringing it closer to home shortens
reducing delivery times.
Yeah. So we're doing what we can to help serve our members where we can, and I can see how that'd be frustrating if there's not a problem we can solve. It just exists. But so how'd the paperless billing initiative go?
It went really well. We had, I believe it was 8,800 or 8,900 members transition through those 3 months.
Yeah.
So really happy with that.
Awesome.
We kind of had a little contest going within our department to see who could sign up the most folks on paperless. So I'm sure that contributed, but
yeah, co-op employees are very competitive.
They love a competition. So we had a few employees who signed up 50 or 60 people a month just themselves. So,
wow.
It went really well.
Awesome.
And I know on the social media end, so we pushed it pretty hard on Facebook, which is our biggest channel where most people pay attention. And we were offering the $100 bill credit. And, sometimes you put a post out there and you think, okay, it's going out, but might get 4 likes. And then you think, okay, no one even saw this. But as the months went on, because it ran for 3 months, I saw people messaging like, hey, when are you announcing the winners of those bill credits? They were looking for it.
Oh, my goodness.
It was very well received on social media.
Awesome.
People were excited to switch and have that chance to win.
That's great.
Yeah. And, there's good stuff happening at the co-op all the time. The first quarter, we have so many opportunities for teachers and students. And so we send out one email, right before the MLK holiday announcing all the different opportunities. But, the tree trimming schedule goes out via email and paper, I guess, too. But, billing can go out through the email. So,
Yeah, we, like I said, we try not to push a lot of things through email, but if we're sitting down saying, okay, we need to let folks know this,
we got to get this out
as quickly as possible, then, that's just the natural avenue to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's safe to say you guys had a pretty successful 2024, but starting Q1 of this year, we've heard of a couple big retirements coming to your department.
Yep.
So who's making the jump and leaving the office, their 8 to 5, and going to live their best life as a BEC retiree?
Yeah, we're losing part of our membership team. I'm really excited for them, but
really
kind of
sad.
Bittersweet for us. They're going to be hard to replace. But Kelly Gaskins is retiring at the end of this month, and she's been here 35 plus years. So a lot of knowledge going with her. So that she's going to be a tough one to replace. And Janine Kirkland, one of our leaders in the contact center, is retiring, and she's got 20 plus years in. So opens up a lot of opportunities within our department for other folks to step up and take on a new challenge. But it'll be different for sure. My dad never retired. He officially retired from his employer of over 40 years, but he just took on one full-time job after another, after he retired. And they ran a dairy as a hobby, which is not a good idea. Would not recommend. Not
for
a
anybody.
hobby. Yeah.
But so, when I came to the co-op, I just never envisioned retiring, or because that's just never been my family's culture. But the first couple of times I started meeting BEC retirees, they've got a glow about them.
Life. Yeah.
They are the happiest people in the Low Country. They're living large on their pension.
My mom rubs it in every chance she can. Absolutely.
So I'm officially a convert. I cannot wait to retire.
Yeah. My husband says I cannot retire because then I become his boss.
Well, got that going.
I like
on.
that.
He's like, no way. No way. You need someone else to boss around.
Well, I'll let you guys work that out.
Yeah.
I think my favorite experience with a retiree was I was trying to do some interviews on Hurricane Hugo, and I was calling some E&O guys from back in the day, and I emailed and reached out, and he's like, well, we have to work around my golf schedule.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, this is serious business to retire. You've got a golf schedule? That was, I'm ready to retire too.
Yeah, and Peyton actually has a retirement countdown in her cube. How many years you've got left?
I'm at 38 and a half years.
Nice. I think I've got
We're counting down.
15. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even close.
Yeah. Oh, it might be more than, no. Technically like 13.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a while.
I think I got to go to 62.
Well, that was my thing. It's if it's 62 or 65, I've got a while. Yeah. I don't want to think about it. But But these retirements show, that member services and the co-op in general offers a great career path for folks. And Amy, you can speak from personal experience. You joined the co-op family as an intern. Tell us about your experience and the opportunities available for both you and everybody else at the co-op.
Yeah, our summer intern program is amazing. That's kind of how I got my start here. It looked a little different back then. But it has evolved into something that I think is really great. And I love when those interns reach out to us and ask us for references and those kind of things, because we really do get to spend a lot of time with them through the summer and through the holidays. So, and we get to pour into them and help develop them. Coming in entry level straight from that, and the co-op has a great tuition reimbursement program. Thanks to them, I have 2 college degrees. So, you really can kind of build your own path here. Did I ever think I'd be in this seat as a summer intern? No.
Nor would you want to.
And at that age, you have different ideas for what you want to do with your life, but things change. And would I want to be anywhere else right now? No. Yeah. I love it. But, just kind of having that opportunity to get your foot in the door and, again, just kind of figuring out and seeing what you want to do. We do a lot of cross-training, not just within departments, but across departments. Oh, yeah. I've got employees who spend time in HR and finance and IT, and
they help us out all the time.
So, it really gets you some good exposure and helps you figure out what you might want to do long term. And then, tuition reimbursement, go get a degree and figure that out and kind of make that way for yourself. But there's a lot of opportunity to do that here.
Yeah. And it definitely is a family, sometimes a dysfunctional family, but a family. And great benefits. I know our HR team and our leadership team really work hard to keep our insurance costs as low as they can, and roll out a new holiday or change the vacation policy. We've got some flex scheduling and a hybrid opportunities. So trying to make it the best workplace possible, because it is a really competitive job market in the Low Country. Absolutely.
Any position we post in our department externally, we get 300 or 400 applicants. So it's unreal, the job pool that's out there for at least entry level positions. But I know on our side of things at the staff level, we feel like if we want our employees to take care of our members the way we want them to, we need to take care of our employees. And, we try to do that through benefits and pay and everything else. So.
and
It
having
makes a
fun at
difference.
work.
Yeah.
You know, the contact center,
Yeah.
they have a job that I would not want.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the phones
Yep.
8 hours or more a day, and sometimes dealing with some difficult personalities on the other end. And but they have treats and
Oh yeah, Fun Sock
dress
Friday
ups.
last Friday. So, yeah.
But and I've benefited from your team. We've got 2 awesome employees, Dana and Yahira, who both started in the contact center, and that knowledge base really informs a lot of what they do, even in the public relations communications team.
Oh yeah, every department poaches from member services. We're everywhere.
Okay, so Amy, it seems like you can't even see or look at any of the news anymore without hearing something about AI or artificial intelligence. It's the newest tool, it's the latest tool, and I know we're starting to implement some of that here at the co-op. So what are some of the ways that we can use AI here to help our members control their energy use?
Yeah, so we have something new coming towards the end of the spring, around April or May, called Bidgely, which I'm really excited about. You know, we talked earlier a little bit about frustrations that members have that we have a hard time resolving for them. And high usage is one of those things. We can give them tips. We can, you know, try to help advise them on the best way to reduce usage. But this is just another tool in that toolkit to be able to help provide advice on how to control your usage. And it's software that's built into Smart Hub, so it's not something different they have to log into or anything, but it takes that usage data that we use for billing, and it runs it through all of its AI algorithms, and it spits out, okay, looks like you're spending this much on heating this month, and this much on lighting, and this much on your water heater, because it can kind of pull from that data those usage patterns and kind of figure out what appliance that might be. Members will have the opportunity to go in and put in more information about their home, and it can be even more accurate. So really excited about that. I'm excited to see that for my own home. Just, you know, because you know, it's hard to know that, but you know, just another tool to be able to offer members another piece of education for them as well. So because as a not-for-profit electric company, the energy that our members use is largely passed through for us. You know, over 70% of our operating costs are wholesale power costs. So, you know, we're fine if you want to use more, and we're here to help you use less if that helps your budget and helps your lifestyle. You know, it certainly is not hurting us if we don't use power. We do not want members using a lot of power. That makes our days harder. So anything we can do to help folks reduce their usage. Because that's the only way to reduce a bill is to reduce the usage. Right.
You know, we all work every day serving the members in some capacity across the co-op. And, you know, that's definitely what gets us out of bed each morning is, you know, living that mission of doing what we can for the members and the community. Amy, what's something that members can do to help us better serve them?
I think the biggest thing is just making sure your contact information is always up to date. You know, we've hit on the post office, we've hit on emails, even phone numbers. You know, when you're calling our outage system, if the phone number you're calling from doesn't match what we have on the account, you have to go through extra steps to report that outage. So just if something changes, let us know so we can update it. As your electricity provider, there are things I'm sure you want to know from us, you want to hear from us. And we want to be able to communicate to you, and we can't do that if we don't know how to get in touch with you.
So the Canadian postal strike, I understand, is affecting a few of our members.
We got a notice from our software provider who mails out our bills a month or two ago that there was a postal strike going on in Canada, and it may affect deliveries if we have bills going to Canada. And who knew we would have bills that go to Canada, but we do. Oh, wow. And so those have been returned to us every month now for 2 or 3 months. So yet another reason to get on SmartHub and sign up for paperless billing.
Wow.
I didn't even know we sent bills to
Yeah,
Canada.
Yeah,
we
That's
send
news
them
to
all
me.
over the world.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Seems like somebody really took the whole snowbird thing.
yeah, took it
to
to heart.
heart.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, we do 5 or 6 a month. They come back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so our billing provider is making a change to where it requires a valid email address for them to log into SmartHub. Can you tell us about that?
You know, data privacy, data security is it should be important, but it's of growing importance to most software providers, and that's another layer of security that they have built into SmartHub now. In the past, for members, mostly members who are on prepaid who want text notifications about their balance because their balance changes daily. In the past, we could sign them up for those notifications without them having a valid email address, and that's not possible anymore. So, you know, we even help them create email addresses when they come in the office if they don't have one, so we can help them get signed up. But that is something that's changed over the last couple of months, that we actually have to have real valid email addresses now to get them the notifications that they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're a BEC member, you know, make sure your email address is up to date and a good working email to get important real-time notifications. You know, make sure your phone number is up to date. That's important for reporting outages and getting outage information. And then your mailing address, too, is also very important, especially when you leave our system, so you can receive those capital
credits and your annual meeting notices.
Yeah.
All of those are sent out through mail. So very important.
Yeah.
Even if you're on prepaid and you're on paperless, we still need your mailing address. Yeah.
And something a little less important, but kind of on my end of the spectrum, if you win a prize on Facebook and your contact information isn't right, you can't get your prize.
Yeah.
I have a hard time tracking people down.
Yeah.
And if you're entering a contest, I feel like it's easier if you want to claim your prize, have it ready to go.
Right,
So,
right. Make
smaller,
sure we can tell
smaller.
you won.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do we have on the horizon for 2025? We've got a couple minutes left. What's ahead for member services?
You know, hopefully it's going to be a quiet year. I hope. Say that every year. You know,
You were hoping for a quiet day yesterday, and that didn't happen.
No, no, it hasn't been a quiet month yet. You know, I'm really excited about. We're planning 2 or 3 cross training rotations this year. I'm excited about that. We have employees actually volunteering for that now.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited to be able to do that for them.
And this is part of, they have to have these experiences to progress up through the ranks.
Yeah, we have 2 levels of a member services rep, and to move on to that highest level, they do have to go through cross training now. Yep. So glad to see that they're taking the initiative and actually asking, hey, I want to be in the next group. You know, I would love to go to Goose Creek, or I would love to go to the contact center. Definitely a positive thing now. So I'm excited about that. We're in the process of planning that first rotation, which will be after the spring. And you know, I'm excited about the opportunities that have opened up with these 2 new retirements. In my position, it's great to see folks grow and develop into those new roles. And I love coaching them through those challenges. So I'm excited about that. At the leadership level, we have a great team, and we have a lot of great ideas that I hope come to fruition over the next year. So I think it just kind of the evolution of things. I'm really excited for the possibilities for the next year.
Yeah. And, you know, on a personnel level, if you're bilingual or know somebody who's bilingual, who speaks Spanish and English, and also can write Spanish and English, you know, keep us in mind as a prospective employer. Sign up for our job alerts. We're always looking for.
Shoot us an email. I mean, just say, hey, I'd love to come work with you guys. Because opportunities pop up all the time. So
Yeah, and we talked about how diverse the Goose Creek district. It's not just Spanish; it's Portuguese and Filipino. There's lots of other
Mandarin and Russian. I mean, that's starting to pop up too. So Italian. Yeah. It's great to see the diversity in our areas and those folks coming here. But it can be a challenge sometimes.
Yeah, to meet their needs.
Yeah.
Well, to keep engaged with the co-op and to learn about the latest things happening here and for prize opportunities, be sure to follow us on social media. We're on all the major channels. Thank you for tuning in to Power Talk. This is the official broadcast of your electric cooperative. You can catch up on past episodes on streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio, and get a behind-the-scenes look on Berkeley Electric's YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.